In progress.
All right, team. Coach Carol here with Rincon Fit Body Bootcamp. Welcome everybody to your Drop One Size Challenge orientation. I'm going to be sharing my screen with you right now. And on that, the PowerPoint presentation to help set a solid foundation here for our Drop One Size Holiday Challenge. And here we go. So thank you guys all for taking the time here out of your busy lives to work on you in the final stages of 2024. So this is an opportunity for all of us to kind of come together in this drop one size for the holidays to really set a solid foundation, not just for the challenge, but to kick off our 2025 year with some of our goals already established, right? And kicking off that year in the best humanly possible health, wellness, and fitness state that we can be in from this step forward. So while I have some people in front of me right now, I'm going to be facing this way. You're going to see a lot of my profile in this video. But really what's important is the material that you're going to see on the screen that's going to help set you up for success with this Drop One Size for the Holiday challenge. So I want to thank you all for being here. We have two people out here because I know everyone is busy. It is already the holidays. So I know we're out there getting ready for Thanksgiving's coming up. We've got Christmas coming up and all of the parties in between. And then the stress of this time of year that can really kind of take a toll on us. But rather than kind of allowing that to happen, we want to like take those Christmas and Thanksgiving, horns by the bull or the horns, whatever it is, and really kind of, look forward to this holidays, but without all of the stress involved, all of the weight gain involved, and really seeing about how we can adjust some of our daily habits and routines that's actually going to help us set us up for success in that fitness, health, and wellness realm. So what I'm going over right now is something that was already shared with you in your welcome email. So this is me going over everything that I've put together in here and kind of really hitting the hammer on the nail of certain areas and maybe having more clarity and understanding about what it is, why it is, and how all of these factors come together for our overall health and wellness. It's not just coming in here for our workouts, but it's a totality of little steps and little things that we do throughout the days and throughout the weeks and throughout our lives that really help create that foundation of wellness for ourselves in our fitness, health, and wellness realm. So, it does take change, and change can be uncomfortable. And so, as we go through this and you put your mind to something, working on this over the next 4 weeks, or really from now until the end of the year, which is a good solid, I think closer to 6 weeks, we have some, time here to build up these habits, these foundational, daily tasks and things that we're going to talk about that may be different and it may look different than what you're doing now, but what you're doing now potentially isn't working for you. And that's why you're here. That's why you've joined the challenge, because you're wanting and willing to make those changes, right? And so I always like to remind people it's progress over perfection, right? So if something doesn't go right, life happens every day. We just kind of get back on that bandwagon and we start fresh every day, just getting on that 1% better. So what you can expect from this challenge, if followed, through with intention, with following a majority of the practices that we're going to be talking about, is what your body relies on most, knowing that our bodies always want to be in that optimal state of potential. The moment we take care of our bodies, the moment they respond in like, and we start feeling better. but that takes certain things that are going to help us get there, and those take action. So if we follow through with the stuff that's in this challenge, we can expect to have balanced blood sugar levels, including our hormones, improved sleep, that brain fog, if we're experiencing any of that, definitely helping with the brain fog, and just having more clarity, having more presence in our day, and then kind of relaxing and getting into that parasympathetic nervous system that's going to help us get out of that fight or flight mode that we are in a lot throughout the day, that kind of creates that cortisol levels and things like that, that create that stress in our lives. And then detoxing our body off maybe certain foods that are kind of interfering with our certain organs, like our kidneys, our livers, our gallbladder, our intestinal tract, how these things digest, our foods rest and digest, and our body's ability to actually absorb the nutrients that we consume. So that may be a reason somebody joined the challenge, is they really, maybe they're having issues like with certain digestive, stuff where we're not absorbing the nutrients our body needs because of certain factors that are inhibiting that. So this challenge, following through with some things, is going to help us cleanse, our digestive system in a manner where it's going to help serve you better. And increasing our energy, boosting fertility if it's someone who's young and still wanting a family, improving our moods, less anxious, depression, waking up feeling positive, optimistic, those kinds of things. And these are just a few things that we can expect over the next several weeks. But again, to remind ourselves that it's not just 4 weeks that we're learning these, but it's something we want to carry on even after this particular year is over, and really setting a good solid foundation for 2025, like kicking and busting those doors down on 2025. So if you don't recognize any ingredients, when it talks to the nitty gritty and what we want to know, it's really about what we put in our body is what we get out of our body when we're talking about nutrition. You cannot out train a bad diet. So I know a lot of people come into our gym and their goal is to work out, because you feel like if you work out, you're going to lose the body fat and you're going to gain muscle. You'll feel better. And of course that is true, but you can't out train a bad diet. And if you come into work, anywhere you go and you work out and you don't change some foundational principles about nutrition and what to eat, then you're not going to get the results that you desire. And that's kind of like what sets us apart a little bit, is we want to ensure that all of our members are nourishing our bodies in a certain way where we are creating that thermogenic effect that keeps our body burning calories all day long. So we're losing that body fat. We're having and maintaining a healthy metabolism so that, again, our body is, using that energy in a healthy way, that we're getting good sleep, that, we're nourishing our body in such a way we're preparing our body for the workout, propelling our body through that workout, and then recovering our body from that workout, right? And that goes true for everything we do in our day, because everything we do is a workout. Whether you're a school bus driver and you're managing a team and you've got all these crazy kiddos that you're responsible for, or you're in our legal justice system, you're a medical professional, you're a teacher, whatever it is we're doing out there, a public servant, or so to speak, like that is a physical job. But it's just as so for a lot of our members out there today who have a very sedentary lifestyle because they work from home or they work at a job in a position where they're sitting a lot. So, and those things add other factors when it comes to just sitting and the pressure of our body from sitting so much, and then the effects that has on our posture, the effects that have it on our hip health, the effects that it have as just not moving our body correctly in those ranges of motion that it wants to and needs to sustain itself. But a lot of this comes down to nutrition. And so if, we want to put out there, if you don't recognize certain ingredients in a food, then your body doesn't recognize it either, which means, your body is a very intelligent being. It recognizes whole, real foods. It knows exactly what to do with it. But when you have a lot of artificial ingredients and things like that in our food system, that can have some wear and tear in our body, especially over time. Chemicals and so to speak. So, so we have to ask ourselves, and this is a great question to be asking ourselves when we're choosing what we're going to eat and what we're going to put in this precious temple body of ours, is this going to make us healthier and make us feel better, or is it not? Is it going to serve an emotion? Is it going to serve a feeling? Is it going to serve a craving? And so we're really not being very conscientious or conscious of a lot of the things that we put in our body, because all it is doing is serving a craving, right? Versus serving our bodies in a way that's going to help nourish our body on a cellular level, meaning that our body can actually communicate with it, understand it, and know what to do with it once it's in that digestive tract and system, right? Rather than clogging it, getting stuck, forming fat, forming inflammation, things that get in the way of our health and wellness, and can overall impact a more of a disease state of existence. So, that's why overall our goal in this challenge is to really get in the habit, and eating healthy doesn't have to be not delicious. Like, I think sometimes we confuse with healthy with not good. And the fact of it is, in a lot of, hopefully, the recipes and things that you see in the guidelines you see in the recipe manual, in your meal plan, in your suggested food selection, and all of that stuff, and all your healthy holiday tips and things like that, is kind of like a balance, right? It's how to eat healthy, but with real foods. And getting back into that way of life, after maybe, living such busy lives where we don't put that time and energy and effort into more healthy options because we're always on the go, but maybe thinking about how can we actually prioritize that a little differently in our lives, and coming up with solutions rather than coming up with excuses of why we're not doing it, right? But be very solution minded. So the first 2 days of the challenge is an optional detox off sugars, caffeines, fats, even high protein stuff, to really cleanse out our liver, cleanse out our kidney, cleanse out our systems of elimination, and all of that stuff. That's what that is. So, lemon water is a good way to start our mornings, just kind of detoxing, balancing out our pH in our system, and hydrating ourselves first thing in the morning, rather than filling it with coffee or other things that are more of a diuretic effect and actually dehydrate the body. So, but the great thing about lemon water too is that it's a detox for our system. So it actually cleanses the liver, it flushes toxins out. And if you could drink a good 12 ounces of water, maybe a warm water with the lemon juice, like about a quarter to a half of a lemon, that's really going to kind of help with that removal of those toxins. And the more you do that, like, I actually recommend, like, that's starting it for the 2 days, but if you do that every day, like I do that mostly every day, it really helps with just removal of our colon and all of those things, right? And just flushing it out. And your body will love you for that. And I'm not going over every single detail in this, so I encourage you guys all to go through this at least 3 times, because the success manual is a lot of amazing information. And then if you take notes or write things down and kind of structure your day through it, that's even better. So, with caffeine or any particular medications or things. I'm not telling you not to take medications if you take medications, but if there's certain things that you're taking, like supplements or those kinds of things that you feel like you can maybe do without, that you want to try to maybe wean yourself off of in a healthy way, that's like ibuprofen and things like that, then that's possible. You could do those. And again, that's just like detoxifying our bodies. But caffeine, or, we recommend like cleansing the caffeine because it can really bring your energy level down, but then you see actually your reliance on it and how it wakes you up, pushes you through your day, that kind of thing. But it also can, if we're having it too late in the day, be responsible for some sleep disruption and things like that. It can make us agitated. It can actually create sort of different depressing states and things like that. So just being mindful of how caffeine can alter our mood a little bit is an option. Or you can do something like having, if it's coffee you drink, the acidity also in that affects our gut health. So it's not always just the caffeine, but say if it's coffee, like that's a highly acidic drink in the morning, first thing on your gut, which over time can cause inflammation and those kinds of things. So again, there's different reasons for taking caffeine out, because a lot of the caffeine we do drink are filled with sugars and acidic types of ingredients that cause that inflammation or affect other factors in our gut health and things like that. So protein builds your body good. Throughout the entire challenge, you are going to hear myself, our coaches, talking about protein. Protein is the most important macronutrient, especially when you're starting a workout program. Protein is basically life in my mind. And every single cell in our body has two ingredients. One is water and one is protein. So you can't minimize the need for it. Protein is also responsible for building our muscle, recovering our muscle, and it's one of the main ingredients in having strong, muscles is the immune response we have with the mitochondria and things like that actually go towards having a healthy immune function. So that comes from stuff that's in your muscle. Protein builds muscle. It's also thermogenic. So when you eat it, it takes more calories to digest it. So you actually burn more calories throughout the day. I would just say prioritizing your protein in every meal, making sure that every meal you eat has somewhere between 30 to 40, 25 to 40 grams, depending on your size, your stature, of protein in it, and getting a minimum of 100 grams to your needs of grams of protein. And we're going to discuss on how you figure out what your goal protein intake is a day. We're going to get into that. So just know that protein is not something your body can store on you like carbohydrates or fats. Protein is your body uses it as it's being digested and it gets rid of it, right? So that is why we constantly need to be replenishing it and prioritizing it. Not just first thing in the morning, but around our workouts. So before and after our workouts, you want to be sandwiching your workout for success. And that means we're prioritizing protein right around your workouts as well. That's not to minimize the needs for carbs and fats. But protein is that building block for life. Protein has like different branched chain amino acids in them. There's 19 of them. Some of them are essential. Some of them are non-essential, meaning some your body can make on its own based on the foods that you eat and things like that. Some it literally needs to get from your foods. So that's why eating a good variety of proteins throughout your day is also very important, so that you're getting varieties of protein as well. That can come from fish, poultry, meat, dairy, eggs. It can even come from vegetables and grains, right? So having that good variety is important. And fats do not make you fat. The truth is sugar makes you fat, and we'll be talking more about that. but we do need healthy fats. Fats just have more calories per gram, so we don't necessarily need to eat as much of it because it can get stored on you as fat. Now, your body does have the capability of storing fat on you, and that is also based on your intake or foods or lack of intake of foods. So a lot of times if we're not eating enough, your body will store fat. And then if you have too much of a surplus of foods on our body that we eat throughout the day, your body will also store that excess as fat as well. So that's kind of like a nitty-gritty on fat, but fats are great for your brain health, for your heart health, for energy. And very vital healthy fats are important, like avocados, nuts, seeds, and olive oils, butter, those types of things, the healthy versions of fats, other than things that are like trans fatty or like vegetable oils and things like that that can have more of a harmful effect on our body. So just being conscientious of that, but fats are very important in balancing our hormones. And I think a lot of reasons why women and even men struggle with hormone balance a lot is because we have this misconception that fat is not a good thing, but it's actually very important in balancing our hormones, but the healthy types of fats are required. And so, of course, your brain health, your heart, your energy level, and your thyroid, your immune system, reducing cancer risks, and things like that. There is tons of research that shows all of these things. And if you go to the end of this handout, I believe there are links to where this research was located. We do cover sugar, especially refined sugar. My chai drink has a little bit of sugar, those kinds of things. But the overall nitty-gritty is it's very, very addictive. And once you start eating sugar, I think we can all relate to, I want more and I want more. And then we crave it first thing in the morning. And then we want it for, dessert for dinner. And then we want to snack on it in between lunches and dinners when we need that energy fix. Or if we're struggling, if we're not snacking, right? And we wait too long between meals, but it's not dinner time. We go for those sweet things when we crash and things like that. We want that boost. And the reality of that, it creates those dips and lulls and things like that wreak havoc on our hormones and it affects our flight or fight responses and affects our sympathetic nervous system and things like that. Our dopamine, like basically every time we take a sugar hit, it's a dopamine hit, right? So it's affecting us on an emotional level. We become reliant upon that. And then, it becomes an addiction that our body and can kind of overpower us with and things like that. So we want to be able to have control of those things because things like cancers, Alzheimer's, diabetes, digestive disorders, arthritis is a big one, or inflammation in our joints, our tendons and ligaments and things like that. Heart disease is a huge cause of the sugar epidemic in our society today in reference to obesity, diabetes, high cholesterol, all of those hypertension and all of those things. So that is a lot of that comes from sugar. And I think we all can relate to that to some way, shape, or form because we either have experienced it ourselves or we've experienced it with one of our loved ones. So we kind of know and see how that's happening. I think for a lot of us individually, we feel it with the inflammation, right? And it suppresses that immune system, especially this time of year when we tend to have more sugar. We also tend to get more sick, and the correlation between that as well. So there's a lot of stuff that we go over here. So during this time, it's the holidays, why we want to be able to enjoy a cookie, some of those holiday treats now and again. We just don't want to let it consume us. We don't want to feel like we're depriving ourselves during this time of year. Don't get me wrong on that at all. I'm going to enjoy some pumpkin pie and those kinds of things, but just don't if you have coworkers bringing in a lot of stuff and things like that, it can get out of hand. Are you stretching? All right, good. So anyway, It's just something we want to prepare ourselves for. That's why we talk about it a lot during this challenge, because it's overwhelming. And at the same time, we still want to be able to enjoy the holidays and those special times with family and friends. So, ways to kind of get over the sugars and those kinds of things is to replace it also with better qualities of things that have medicinal effects, such as honey. Maple syrup is a great organic, real maple syrup is a great antioxidant. Actually, it's great for your immune system. And dates are good for energy. They're also have beneficial ingredients with certain vitamins and minerals and things like that. So just being a little more like maybe making treats for ourselves that include these types of ingredients versus the refined sugar, which is really what we're talking about here. And then water. You're going to hear your coaches talking about it a lot, but we encourage all of our members to drink no less than half your body weight in ounces per water a day. We are fluid beings. I would say 70% of our body is water. So it's in every cell in our body. We're constantly perspiring. Your body's constantly using water throughout the day for energy. And water is probably the most simplest thing we can do, where it doesn't directly burn fat, but it enables your body to function and move and have all your organs, your everything function in a more optimal way when it is well hydrated. It's literally the easiest thing you can do is grab that water, drink it down. And it's also one of those big things is when we are dehydrated, we get those huge false signs of hunger, which encourage us to drink even or eat even more when we're not necessarily hungry. So being hydrated also makes your body feel more satiated as well. So you get less hunger cues as well. So understand that a lot of times when we get hungry, it's because we're dehydrated. So lots of great more information in here. So please kind of go through the water. But we did want to be able to provide some helpful tips and information on how we can personalize our protein and carbs and how to kind of form in fats and formulate a plan to calculate like what's a good goal. So basically for men and women, if you basically, for women, it's 4 to 6 ounces per serving. For men, basically, it's 6 to 8 ounces depending on your weight. But if you really, really want to know, if you basically multiply your body weight by 0.7, that will give you the amount of grams that you need or should try to obtain in protein per day, and the same thing for carbs. So for me, I weigh about 138. I weighed myself this morning. If I multiply that by 0.8, I weigh 138 and multiply that by 0.7. My goal is 96.6, so close to 100 grams of protein per day. That's what we recommend as an absolute minimum, meaning that is the least amount of grams of protein we should shoot for a day. I recommend somewhere between that, whatever you calculate, and the weight you actually want to weigh. So say currently you weigh 170 pounds, your goal weight is 150. I recommend getting somewhere between that 0.7 grams of protein a day to 150 grams of protein today until a day, based on until you reach your goal weight. So once you reach that goal weight, then you might recalculate a little things. But like if you're prioritizing protein, it's like I said, it's nutrient dense. It fills you up so you feel satiated longer. It's filled with vitamins and minerals that your body needs. It's also filled with branched chain amino acids that help you recover your muscle, build your muscle, and so you don't feel as uncomfortable during your workouts and things like that. So That's a little bit on protein there. And then carbs, I would say, is about the same amount. So it's equal to your protein at this time. That might fluctuate depending on your activity level, but it's a great place to start. And then with fats, it's 0.3. So if you multiply your current body weight times 0.3, that would give you how many grams of fat you would want. Understanding that fat has like more than double the amount of calories per gram than protein or carbs. Hopefully that makes sense. So we're just recommending, we're kicking this challenge off December 2nd. You have from now through Thanksgiving, through that weekend to really like over a week to prepare. So we wanted to give you plenty of time to get in here, get comfortable with your workouts, have fun, staying fit, meet your community, meet people that are going to help encourage you to be successful every day. Like we are here. The people in our gym are here to support you. Our coaches are here to support you. We are your biggest fan. We are going to, be here every day to make sure that you're staying accountable to your goals, to yourself, and you're surrounding yourself with people who are all here together, working on themselves, trying to be our best living potential, and then encouraging others to do the same. And that's pretty much what we are about here. So you either fail to plan or plan to fail, right? So have your grocery list, have your shopping day, have your meal prep day, go through your pantry. If there's things that are not serving you, then you might want to donate those items or bring them to a work or school and, give them away or, use them up, whatever it is. So you do you. There's your grocery list where basically you don't have to eat what's on the grocery list. If you want to substitute things, change like for like things. If there's a protein you don't like, switch it out. If there's a smoothie that you love, but you want to add things, add it. You do you. This is a guide for you, but you do you. And this is about you having fun in the kitchen. It's like chemistry in the kitchen. You get to be creative. You get to have fun. You're learning about your body. You're learning about what's good. And you're really taking control of your health, right? And that's really what it's about. So, we don't have any restrictions on fruits and things like that. People ask a lot. There's a lot of vitamins and minerals in these fruits. An apple a day keeps the doctor away. Pineapple is very anti-inflammatory. Bananas have lots of potassium and things in them. And, the same with everything else out there. But, when it comes to fruits, we do recommend you not eating them maybe after 1 or 2 o'clock in the afternoon. They are sugar. So if you are going to have fruits, have them in the morning or early afternoon and not so much at bedtime or during dinner, those kinds of things, because they are sugar and you're less active during those times and they can interfere with your sleep and or get stored on you as fat if you're not moving as much. The great thing about fruits too, in regards to other sugary foods like cookies or things like the sugar in fruits, your body utilizes as energy immediately. It literally will go to work for you. Your body will use it up and it won't get stored during those active times of your day. So that's a good time to have it. It's also filled with vitamins and minerals. So fruits are very good, but again, you just want to be mindful. And then we talk about, using organic foods, and it says, it shows you what foods you want to potentially, go more organic with versus others, with the fertilizers and things like that are so prevalent in our agriculture these days. If that works for you, and then using grass-fed versus range and, using more organic things that say, they don't have those antibiotics or hormones in them and things like that kind of can affect our bodies. And, just avoiding those temptations, measuring your food. These are all ways where we tend to have excess accidental calories throughout the holidays, is having those you know, temptations where people come in, or you're going to see people bringing stuff in the gym even, you know, little bits okay, but just not going overboard. And, you know, if you do like have an extra cookie or something, tell yourself, you know what, I'm going to take that extra walk around the parking lot. I'm going to use those stairs. I'm going to park further away from the buildings. If I go into the gym or if I do go somewhere, I'm going to make sure I'm getting in those extra steps. That way you don't feel guilty about it. That way you know you're doing your body good and you're getting out there. We do recommend, like, you know, using portion sizes. So the meal plans that are presented to you have certain portion sizes. So, you know, like your palm is protein, a cup is your hand, and your thumb is a serving of fat. So like that would be like a quarter of an avocado for me, like that kind of thing, or an ounce of olive oil. And then avoiding those extra calories from alcohol, sugars, juices, sodas, and things like that. So a big thing about the detox in the first 2 days, really, like if you're a soda drinker, that's what we're talking about. If you're a big soda drinker, those are like, it's an opportunity for you to wean off the soda because of just I would say the negative harmful effects with soda. Like I know we love our soda, but the soda doesn't love us. And so there's a lot of sugar, even when it says sugar-free kind of stuff, it's still using a artificial type of sugar, right? So maybe using something more like a seltzered water, a flavored water, like only lemon. Like there are some seltzers out there that are not that don't have sugars, things like that. You could get the unsweetened teas at the Circle K's or the Quick Stops and things like that. So there are non-sugar options, or just drinking more water, right? And or putting some lemon in it with some cucumber or in mint. Those are other options you can put in your water, or fruit, oranges, raspberries, strawberries, whatever you like, to give it a little bit of something that's going to encourage you to drink more as well, right? So soda is not water. If you're drinking more soda and you're not drinking water, you're not flushing all the artificial ingredients from the sodas that clog and damage your intestinal lining. And really that's when people start, that's what causes those things like GERD and acid reflux and things like that can be caused a lot from sodas. So just a little side story here, but when I was a detective, I worked night detectives, and I just decided, and I would get a big gulp Coke every day, like Coca-Cola. I didn't like diet. I was not a diet person. I would drink a whole big ass, use my French, Coke. And I loved it, especially when it was like 115 degrees out with the crunchy ice and all that. Kept me going. But when I went to night detectives, I gave up all soda. And I lost like 12 pounds in a week. And I didn't think I had 12 pounds to lose. I swear to God, I didn't. But I had to go out and buy all new pants and a new belt. Literally, I could not wear the same pants. They literally, because I had my uniform, you know, I had all my gear around my waist, and it was falling down my hips. And I could not believe it. Like, I never in a million years thought I needed to lose that weight, but I could, you know, that's the damage of just one thing I changed, that soda. And that was what did it. So I tell people a lot. I told people that story a lot, and I get people to do it a lot. And they'll give up soda and they lose like 10, 15 pounds in a week just from giving up soda if you're a chronic soda drinker, like I was. So, yeah, crazy things you live and learn. So caffeine, just, you know, maybe limiting it a little bit if it's you're a big caffeine drinker, because of like how it does affect our brains and things like that. And just being able to come from a more state of calm. And then getting our sleep, right? We have chronic lack of sleep, and country. I would say we're very driven people in America, which is a good thing. We work hard, we play hard, we go until we collapse into our beds a lot. I lived that life a long time until it caught up with me. But sleep is like one of the most important factors when it comes to fat loss. That's when your body heals itself. And when you're not getting enough sleep, you're more tired during the day. That will encourage you to eat more. You feel lethargic, so you crave more sugars, and it's just a spiral downward turn. So if you work on one thing in this challenge, work on your sleep. And that's getting, I say, a minimum of 7 hours a night, if not 8 or 9. And I know that's not like people think that's impossible, but you can structure your way. I mean, think about how much time we spend in our cell phones, our TVs, just doing random things that don't really serve us. So maybe working on getting at least 7, if that is possible, and then working on maybe getting that 8. And I know that's hard for some public servants who work overnighters and things like that, and sometimes it's just impossible. But try to get at least 6 hours, and take naps if you need to on your days off. And then just de-stressing our lives, stretching. We do a lot of stretching in here after our workout. We recommend doing that before bed. That can really help induce more of a sleep state. And then handling our treat meal is really, during the challenge, if you are following the nutrition plan and you're really staying consistent, but you want to have that one day to go out and have fun with your family, that for that one meal, a Saturday or a Friday night or something like that, or just being healthy, but maybe having a dessert with it or something. That's kind of like what I recommend, like just always picking healthier options, even when you go out. But then if you want to enjoy like sharing a dessert with someone or something like that, go do that. Because sometimes you'll find your body will reject certain foods. Like say you're like, oh, I'm going to be really good, but I'm going to have that pizza night. And then you go out and have pizza and you're like, and you wake up and you're like, or you sleep, your sleep is disrupted. You feel yucky the next day. Your body's having a hard time digesting it. You feel bloated, inflamed. So those things you'll start to notice when you start being healthy, like certain times when you do things like that, your body will let you know about it. So just being conscientious of that. Talks about supplements and things like that. So we do have, if you're finding it hard to get in enough protein just from your foods, I do this. Most people do this if they're trying to reach a certain goal in protein. Will have at least one supplemental protein shake a day to get an extra 25 to 30 or even 40 grams of protein, depending if you're a male or a female. And with that, maybe a post-workout smoothie. Like that's when I like to do it, is I'll just drink protein down after my workout so that it's going to go straight to my muscle, help recover my muscle so I don't get a sore. And then also it will, help me reach that goal every day. You can also, mix proteins with your yogurts to give it more protein to reach your protein goal. You can also sometimes at night, that's when I tend to have it. I'll mix a little, I'll either make a protein smoothie before, if I get a sweet tooth at night, and it helps me sleep better because that's when your body, needs that protein when it's recovering you from the day. So it's going to maintain that muscle, help you sleep a little bit better. If you have it with like say some almond milk or whatever, your milk of your choice, or sometimes I'll mix it with that yogurt again and make it more like a pudding. Sometimes I'll put a little bit of like peanut powder on it just to make it more like a dessert. So I feel like it's a treat, but it's a healthy treat. Instead of going for the ice cream, I make it more of a pudding. Sometimes I will even put berries in it and have that extra fruit, but berries I know there's less sugar in berries and they're higher in antioxidants. So they actually do your body good. And I'll just put a few of those on. Himalayan sea salt with like cucumbers is great to add to your water too. It helps us get more electrolytes. If we're not taking an electrolyte supplement, you will want an electrolyte supplement with magnesium, sodium, and potassium. during your workouts and things like that, because your body needs the extra electrolytes to keep your body at a good, like balanced hydration state, especially if you are drinking a lot of water. We don't want to flush them all out. You need to be replenishing them. We also have our Everyday Fit and our Everyday Fit over there, and the pre-workout that has extra electrolytes and things like that during your workouts. They have extra like vitamins and minerals and things that like that too, that also enhance your body's recovery and things like that. I always recommend a probiotic for especially men and women who are over 48 or 50. That's going to help balance your good gut bio. There's lots of different ones out there. I would go with a reputable brand that doesn't have any like artificial ingredients in it, but that's going to help keep a good, healthy gut bio balance. That's going to help your body digest ability stay intact and things like that, especially as we age and things like that can get disrupted. So we want to have that good bacteria outnumbering the cells in your entire body 10 to 1, right? So we want that to be able to flush out the bad bacteria that in those viruses that can and other pathogens that can, start to build up if we haven't been eating correctly. That can also come from just stress. So like gut health has a lot to do with how much stress we have in our lives too. So it's not just always what we're eating. It could also be factors relating to stress. And then omega fats, oils are great for your brain health, your heart health. So and they are also really good to help maintain your metabolism. So omega fatty acids are also very, very good. And magnesium helps with sleep. It also helps prevent soreness and stiffness. So if you feel like your joints, your tendons are tight and stiff, a lot of that has to do with depletion of magnesium. So I do highly recommend a magnesium supplement if you're feeling those things. And so there are just healthy exchanges for you guys. So if you can swap out like for like foods, things that you like and tolerate well. In this program, there's a guide there to switch things out. Same thing here. And then really it's just about, to get the best results and the most out of the next 4 weeks, we recommend, sticking to the plan, stacking your wins, so we might be working on sleep, hydration, protein, your workout, and maybe some mindfulness work. So like if those are your 5 things you're focusing on every day and you hit all 5 of them, that's a win. If there's a day where you didn't drink enough water, but you did all 4 of the other things, that's still a win. That's like an A- to a B+ day, right? But if you forget your water and you miss your protein goal, you're down to like a C+. That's not a great thing. So we want to be stacking wins where we want to have 5-star days every day. So when you're thinking about how you reach that 5-star day every day, that's hitting your hydration, it's hitting your protein, it's hitting your workout or moving our bodies, it's hitting our sleep, and it's hitting some of the like the mindfulness stuff is like also like obviously our nutrition. I say protein, but what I really mean is, are we getting a good 5 to 7 servings of fruits and vegetables a day too? And eating those healthy complex carbohydrates versus those process driven, refined carbohydrates. So there's a lot. Well, I'll be sending out different information throughout the challenge, so please read your emails, but really about sticking to those whole foods, those high quality foods, not the processed foods with the ingredients that lack nutrition. So when you're thinking about processed foods, like cereals, pastries, pastas, like minute rices, cupcakes, um, I would say proteins or that are higher in fat or fried foods, things like that. Those are the types of things, those are the types of like processed breads, the white breads and things like that, the refined anything with high qualities of refined sugar or trans fats, like that category of food are the things that are responsible for the obesity epidemics in our country today, for the diabetes, for the heart disease, and for all disease, right? So we know that. So slowly, incrementally, we want to be working those things out of our options. But we also want to emphasize that no foods are off limits. Like, we're realistic. Am I going to have a slice of bacon every once in a while? Yeah, I am. Am I going to have a cupcake and celebrate birthdays? Yes. Am I going to um, go out to have a nice dinner with dessert, whatever it is? Yes. And am I going to bring my nephew out to get ice cream? Yes. And I'm going to enjoy those moments. But it's just about prioritizing the more highly beneficial foods that are more highly nutritious. That's the most important part. So the thing about those other foods that we're talking about, it's not that they're bad for us, it's that they lack nutrition. And those are the foods that we are prioritizing in our breakfasts, our lunches, and our dinners that have kind of brought us to this state, right? So, and to those, obesity states, right? And lack of movement, lack of exercise, more sedentary lifestyles. So it's really about creating more whole foods because they are abundant with nutrients, and your body needs that nutrients to thrive, to be healthy, to really nourish ourselves on that cellular level. So that's all I have to say. I know it's been a lot. Do you have any questions in this group? You guys ready to crush it? All right. Well, I hope this presentation has been highly beneficial for you. I hope you enjoy all this information. If you do have any questions, you can always reach out to us via text, via email that we're sending out to you, and or just ask your coaches when you're in the room getting your workout going. So other than that, have a great rest of your day, team, and we look forward to seeing you on the gray mats soon.